this is my raid team, and we're about to go in the middle and try to fight some digital dragons and shit.
Well, that's interesting because we were definitely going to ask you that before we got on air, but we just got on air real quick. So I am Mr. Chambers. I'm here with Jamal, and this is the Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast. We are joined by a very, very special guest. I mean, he's been called the hybrid. Many have called him versatile. He's even been called the hyper athlete, but he is no other than the Limitless Keith Lee. What is going on?
Nothing much, man. Just finished stuffing my face, feeling nice, as they say, fat, full, and happy. So, just, getting through the day and getting ready for this weekend. How's you guys doing?
Not bad, not bad. You are a Texas kid, so we definitely need to ask. What was that meal like?
Oh, it wasn't anything that you would expect. Just some chicken and some carbs. That's it, man. Nothing special.
I mean, you're from the hill country, right? So I would expect that, like.
No, I'm not from the hill country, actually.
Oh, you're not. Oh, you're from Wichita Falls, right?
Yep.
Right. But San Antonio being the hill country, and you certainly have some experience down there. I'm expecting just like a 6-foot tall brisket.
Oh yeah, no, not at all, man. There's there have been times where I would dabble in that, but I tend to try and run from that nowadays.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But I saw you up in New York for the Evolve and Progress show last weekend.
Oh, you were there?
I was there.
Wonderful. How'd you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was great. It was absolutely great. The Evolve show went swimmingly. And I was also swimming in my own sweat at the end of the Progress show. And I guess my first question before we see you this weekend for the Nova Pro show, what is it like to be in that environment? How does working in those conditions change your game a bit, if at all?
I don't think that being in any different conditions has ever changed my approach to professional wrestling. I think with the case of the Progress show, because there were so many people there and the floors were sweating, the ceilings were sweating.
It was raining in there from the sweat from the ceilings.
Even in the ring, I got rained on a little bit, which was really weird. But I think the only thing that I would change is I probably, if you noticed, I was a lot less athletic that day. I kind of controlled myself and decided to rely more on power because it was, well, it's always easy to rely on power. I just like to be different, but I was a little more careful, if you will.
Yeah. It was a hell of a show, and you probably had the biggest pop of the night, and that was very interesting considering that it was a UK show with a bunch of New Yorkers there, sure, but a lot of fans of those guys. And here you come, basking in all of your glory. That's what we did. Well, we had to. The song demands it, and you put on a hell of a show, man. It was just. I've never seen a bad performance from Keith Lee, and I'm not blowing smoke.
I appreciate it.
But this Friday, you're going to face a different type of animal. Angelus Layne and Nova Pro's Cool for the Summer down in Annandale at the beautiful Northern Annandale Volunteer Fire Department. Now, she is a different type of animal. I know that you met her once before, like back in 2015 or so. But she's literally thrown fire at people. Does that change your perspective, how you go into a match? She may actually be a witch, and I'm very concerned.
Oh, well, you know what? That could very well be true. I'm a pretty open-minded fellow, I like to think. However, the situation is this. I'm there to do a job, and a job that was requested of me, a job that I will get done if I have to. I will. I have an approach to this whole thing that I'm pretty much set. I'm dead set on to give some opportunities to different people and see if they take them. If those opportunities are not accepted or taken advantage of, then things will have to be as they are. And regardless of anybody being a witch or whatever else, there's a fact that you're forgetting here, and that's that Keith Lee is limitless. So regardless of what magical powers or fire or whatever else, I've seen many of these things in my time in wrestling. I don't.
Oh, have you now?
Oh yeah.
You've had many of witches then.
People that use fire, we'll put it that way.
See.
Yeah, like Jamal said, you faced her back in 2015. It was at the Inspire Pro Wrestling Fade to Black show, and so she's definitely felt your spirit bomb before, and you're very much accustomed with her. But like you said, good old Mikey King, he pulled out the big guns for this one because she really disrespected him at his promotion and his family. And when you were announced, it was a shock heard around the DMV area, which is the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, knowing that you was coming, and like, this is not a game, this is not a drill. So
yeah, well, I think that's the appropriate response when she besmirches this man's family, his newborn, and then throw fire in his face. She conjured fire and tossed it at a man. The only response to that should be the limitless Keith Lee. I mean, let's be real here. But that's this weekend. Your story isn't the typical pro wrestling story. You've been in and around the business the better part of a decade plus, and milling about Texas, and you find but now is your breakout time between the last year or two. Do you think that in the time that you've been in and around the wrestling business, that your time is actually now, or do you think that you have a bit further to go before you consider yourself mated?
That's a really good question, actually.
Thank you.
First, mated is an extremely subjective term. So, in terms of myself, I'm never going to think I made it, if you understand what I'm saying. No matter how far I go or where I end up or what accomplishments I make, I'm always going to find more that I want to achieve. That is partially what it means to be limitless. That is partially what it means when I talk about the grind. Every day is about being better than the day before. So no matter where I go or what I do, I'm always going to want to do more and have more opportunities and continue to reach higher plateaus, if you will. So that's really tough to answer for me because there's never a place I feel like I made it. My drift here.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I guess then a better question would be, how is it surreal for you to see the reaction and how you've been the best kept secret for so long, and now the secret's out, and here you are, you're going to Ireland, and you're going to around the U.S., you're on the indie scene, at least a household name now, at least in our perspective, outside of the Texas wrestling scene. Is it surreal to you to see how far you've come, only to be blown up in like the last couple months?
Yes. Every time I do anything, it's extremely surreal, whether it's meeting somebody I was a fan of and finding out they're a fan of mine, and that goes in different industries, from fitness to music to wrestling to even in the terms of like movies and such. It's really cool when you meet people and find out that they know who you are and they're a fan of yours as well. So when I experience those things, it's always a really touching moment for me to know that I've grinded so hard for so long, and only in the past really year and a half, things became this gigantic explosion. Pun completely intended, because gigantic was the name of the show that started everything in my first match with Dijak at Beyond Wrestling. So it doesn't matter how long or how far I've blown up. Every time I do something new, it's always surreal, man. And just like you said, the response from fans and the intensity behind the support that they give. New York was nuts, dude.
New York was insane.
Yeah, I was nearly speechless, but I couldn't do anything but give my thanks by doing my best inside the squared circle, regardless of conditions. And I think I did that. So I'm just grateful, man. That's all I can be. And I just keep pushing forward and keep saying thank you by doing what I do.
Speaking
Well,
speaking of
okay, go ahead.
oh yeah, speaking of Dijak, I mean, and talking about buzz, there's without a doubt that your match with Dijak at Evolve 81 WrestleMania weekend was constantly being said the best match of the weekend across every promotion. Now, granted, let's take WWE out of this for a second. There was a zillion indie promotions as it was that weekend, but even with NXT and WrestleMania, Dijak versus Keith Lee was the match everybody buzzed about. I mean, how does that feel as an accolade?
WrestleMania weekend was a flash and a blur altogether to begin with, but um, when you consider things as they are, and there has been a lot of growth since 2016, but when you consider that growth and then you compare it to being talked about an entire WrestleMania weekend, um, based on a couple matches or a few matches out of however many I had, it's it's you can't really put words to that, man. It's an emotional situation to experience that and to know that people are paying that much attention to what you're doing when you give so much to this. To see it acknowledged and appreciated, those are all extremely special experiences. And I just kind of, I've cherished them since then, and I just continue to keep grinding and do as well as I can each time I step out there.
So then what pressure does it add when you do something that's, technically, for all of our boxes and our preconceived notions that we're being told to put in, you've kicked down all of those walls better than Chris Jericho. The idea is that you're not supposed to do the things that you do and what Dijak does at your size, height, and weight and skill set. And you've proven, I can do whatever I want because I'm limitless. Good for you. But the idea is, what pressure does that put on you to continue to push those limits, which are there and limitless? Does that do anything? Is it now a race against the fans to impress them more, or is it just, or is it just so much more that we haven't seen yet?
There are quite a few things that people have not seen. I do not feel pressure to expose them. I really want to save them for really special moments, to be honest. I don't feel pressure like I have to do or keep doing things. There are several matches I have where I don't do one flip or I don't do, whatever it may be that I do. There's a million things I do, but there are several matches I have where I don't rely on it at all. I do it when and where I want to, and that's just how I operate. I think that fans appreciate the things that I bring to the ring, especially from the athletic side. I don't think that they just require me to do more. I think they just appreciate it when I do it. You know what I mean? So I don't think it should. To me, it should never be a thing of pressure for anybody that's a professional wrestler to, I need to do this because the fans are going to want it. I do things because I enjoy them, and it means that much more to me because the fans also appreciate those things that I enjoy doing. So when we share that, it's a mutual appreciation. So I give it when I feel like it, and they appreciate it when I do it.
Well, I guess the question really comes from the area of if a comedian and the joke doesn't go over, or or a wrestler and he thinks that's a really difficult, a figure skater with a really difficult maneuver and they get only a 6 from the judges. Is it disconcerting at least? Where is it disconcerting at least that people may or may not react to what you presented? You could be the best chef in the world, but if you present me something and it could look great, but if I don't like it, then it's kind of like, what are you gonna do?
Well, here's the thing, man. When it comes to wrestling, it's kind of like I like to compare it to like a Baskin Robbins. What's the gimmick there? 31 flavors or something like that. Yeah. When it comes to wrestling, you have many different types of wrestling. And fans like different types of wrestling. So I know for a fact, and it's not something I've experienced or I've not heard people say it to me, but I am 113% certain that there are fans out there that don't like what I do or don't appreciate the things that I present. And
Who are these people? We'll find them.
well, it's just mathematically it wouldn't make sense if that were not the case. You know what I mean? Some people prefer a big guy to just be a ooga booga big guy, me smash, me crush.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing. It never has been. I've been asked to do it when I first started wrestling. I hated it. It's just not me. There's some people that probably think that I could be more serious or what have you. But there's gonna be some things that somebody doesn't appreciate, and I'm okay with that. Here's my thing. There are many people out there that love what I do, and those are the people that I cater to. Those are the people that I appreciate. Those are the people that I'm going to do everything I can to continue to please because they're supporting me. And I love that, and I love them for it. Those people that don't like it, well, there are many other wrestlers out there to support, and we all need it. So watch what you like, enjoy what you like. I will continue being me. I will continue being limitless, and we'll all carry on happily. You know what I mean?
Yep, sounds good.
I know in the past you know, and obviously now you pride yourself in being a multi-position type of player, a man of many trades, and very versatile. But you said it, and I quote, "It wasn't until you got the green light from some very influential people in wrestling." That you actually became this person of sort of say of a Swiss Army knife. Could you talk about who those people were and what was the advice that was given?
I've actually talked about it in a few different podcasts. There were a few people, one of them less so than the other two. The people that I actually had fairly serious conversations with, and one of them actually is the creator of Bask in My Glory. That person is Dusty Rhodes, and the other person is William Regal. Dusty Rhodes is one of the reasons I'm so comfortable expressing myself the way that I do, the way that I speak, because I used to get made fun of because I don't speak like an average human being, I suppose.
You talk our language, by the way.
What's that?
You talk our language, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. That's
the nerd culture. We know. We vibing. We know this.
Well, I support that. So that's something that I've owned and I've gotten very comfortable with. William Regal has pretty much been my guiding light when it comes to wrestling because if it weren't for those two guys, Keith Lee wouldn't be here. I would have hung up my boots in 2013 when I did not get signed for the second or third time, whatever number it was. And that would have been done. But those two lit a fire under my ass, and I kind of just said screw everybody and decided to be me. And that has been the absolute most healthy thing that I've done for my career, and has breathed life into it that I never thought was there. So, forever appreciative for those guys.
No, that sounds awesome. I understand that you're a computer science major from Texas A&M, and here you are, headlining Nova Pro and many other places around the country and around the world. Do you still keep up with the computers and stuff like that, or is it just wrestling and it's taking up most of your time?
Oh man, I would say that my programming capabilities are rusty at best. There's probably a little bit of coding I could still do, but most new languages I'm absolutely abysmal at. I'm probably more of a hardware guy now. I like to build computers, so my computer I've built. I'm probably going to build one for my little brother soon, and I take joy in that. And I like working with monsters, so my computers are all enormous with just big hardware in it. It's great.
Your little big brother, that is, right?
Oh well, yeah, they're all big, but the 11-year-old isn't. He's not as big as the rest of us. He's only like 6 foot tall. So
only like 6 foot tall.
Yeah, it probably doesn't sound very natural to most people.
Well, I mean, it's a Texas-sized family, so that makes sense, actually.
Yeah, to say the very least. To say the least.
Yeah.
And in your time at Texas A&M, I know you was a walk-on football player, and you've also had numerous visits from NFL teams as well. Just wondering, like, actually, what year were you at Texas A&M?
03, 04.
03, 04. That's not when they was having the coach controversy or something with like the
That was because
the
that
boost.
coach got fired the year after I left.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Dennis French Young.
Yeah. Yeah. Who and
Yep, he's that dude.
And Von Miller wasn't. Not Von Miller. Martellus Bennett wasn't there then, was he?
I believe he was a senior when I was there. Actually.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
Yep. No. Exactly the time.
Yeah.
So for NFL teams, and I firmly can get behind somebody making choices like you make. I mean, I know obviously your family had to push you to go the NFL route, and I can only imagine now you think about it and you've seen all these scientific studies coming out about CTE, but you banked on yourself, and now you're like one of the hottest indie stars in the world right now. I mean, you definitely have to feel good being in your skin, knowing that you made the decision that was best for you, no matter if your family supported it or not. And look where you're at.
I feel good for me because that's a route that has helped me grow, both as a human and as a man. I was very spoiled. I don't know if most people know when you're a jock and you're a supposed superstar, a lot of things are handed to you. So, in my personal opinion, I was a bit of a child growing up. So, making that decision and dealing with the adversities, the forthcoming from there, I think it's shaped a lot of who I am and helped me grow into a term I like to use, a decent human being, as opposed to a jackwagon.
And I know that you said in other interviews as well that your grandma has been one of your biggest inspirations as to why you wrestle. So I know for a fact that
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I know for a fact she has to be looking down proud of everything that you've accomplished.
That thought does bring me peace, but she's not just one of the like she is the inspiration. She's the one. There is no other. There's no wrestler. There's no anything like that. She is the reason.
That's awesome. You know, who doesn't love that story? When they tell your story, because you know, we love to tell stories like this. Who's going to play you in the movie?
Oh man, that's woo. It's got to be somebody that starts getting gray hair at the age of 16, and he's got to be like panicking at the age of 16 because he's finding a couple strands of hair. I don't know, man. That's really rough to think about. Like, there's so many people in the world, and I've been told numerous times that people find people that could be my doppelganger, if you will. Mm-hmm. And I think I would have to see these people and see what's going on. And if that didn't work, I would really have to like do some tryouts if that were ever a thing. I really would. Like, wait a minute. I have to make sure you're both nerdy and jockey enough to be this middleman, this gray area situation, because I'm definitely the Renaissance man when it comes to things.
So then not Anthony Anderson as an older you?
Who?
Anthony Anderson.
I feel like I'm supposed to know this name.
From Blackish.
Don't worry about it. You don't need to know that name. and we move on.
So not only are you making your Nova Pro debut this Friday, you're also making your debut at the PWG Battle of LA in September. In the first round, you'll be facing Walter. And based on how the brackets are shaped up, if you beat him, and if the neighboring person beats their opponent, you may end up facing Ricochet, who pretty much you owe him one. Owe him two, actually. You owe him from Evolve 80 and you also owe him from the Pro Wrestling Cup as well. He's also the champion of the Battle LA from last year.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I didn't even think about last year.
Let's think about the stakes here. How does that feel going into that?
Man, I'm just a dude that's happy to be there because I mean it's Bola, man. There's not much more excitement that you get when it comes to being in the States than that. That's the tournament when it comes to the independents. You know what I mean? So my focus is just to get as far as I can, or if possible, win the whole dang thing. I'm just happy to be a part of it, I guess you could say, and that's probably like not giving myself enough credit. And when we get closer, I'm probably going to be a lot more focused and want more. Right now, I'm just kind of stoked in the fact that I'm one of those 24. You know what I mean?
As you deserve to be.
I'll say that you and Walter, from your match at Progress in New York, maybe it was the heat stroke that I was suffering, but that was certainly something that that was a moment that everybody in that building felt. That you two standing toe to toe was the thing that we didn't know that we needed until we saw it live in person. So,
surprisingly enough, there is a very large amount of people that knew that they wanted that. And they've known for longer than I've known who Walter is.
Really?
From my very first trip over to the UK, the moment I got back to the States, regularly I would see people tweeting about wanting Keith Lee versus Walter for the past year. And now they got a little taste of it in New York. And when Bola comes, it's just going to be this clash of two mountains, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
That dude's a roughneck, man, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. No, that's going to be awesome. I it's Labor Day weekend. I wish I could be there, but it happens. But there'll always be the Blu-ray.
There will indeed be the Blu-ray, but man, it's not going to match the being there energy.
I know. Yeah, thanks for rubbing it in. Great. It's great you get to do that. It's fantastic. Kind of burns.
Hey, man. One love.
Kind of burns. Of course.
Do you have any clue about the number of matches you've already worked this year already? Because I was just wild when I looked it up.
I have no idea, man. I haven't even I try not to keep up with that because I feel like it's gonna be like, oh my god, all I do is wrestle.
Well,
so you can enlighten me.
Well, 2016 you wrestled about like 52 or 54 times. You have already done in 2017 68 and 16 matches alone in July.
I feel like some of those numbers are off. I know for a fact I wrestled more than 50 something times last year. I know for goddamn sure I wrestled more than that. I don't know what website that is, but it's probably missing some matches here and there.
If it's the internet, it's true. You know this.
It's obviously true.
Okay. Oh, my apologies. I did not mean to challenge the interwebs.
You never question the internet.
So outside of the zillion matches that you work, what do you do in your spare time?
Oh, let's see. Right now, get a look here. I am catching up on the G1.
Nice.
I was sent a message with a link and told that Michael Elgin is trying to make use of my Ground Zero, so I started watching it. So I saw that, and I'm kind of like, really, bro? And it was bad? Get out of here, dude.
No.
Anyway, I'm going to leave that be.
Okay. Speaking of continue. Go ahead.
So aside from obviously catching up on wrestling, I haven't built a computer in a while, so I'll probably start buying new parts soon. And then I watch a lot of anime, for those that don't know, so I catch up on that when I can.
What's your show you're into now?
This can take this can take an hour if you want. We can just go forever. Right here. This is our rhythm right here.
My current, let's see. Let me actually, because I have it open right here. It's things that I've been watching.
On a Crunchyroll?
Yeah. So the current main things are One Piece, My Hero Academia, Boruto, Dragon Ball Super, of course.
Of course.
And then there's a few things that I've watched and just been clearing out of my queue, like World End, World Trigger. Let me go to my history. This is ridiculous. I can't believe I'm doing this right now.
No, it's perfectly fine.
Let's see.
Well, you said you're a Renaissance man, so this is to be expected.
Yeah, so obviously with all this, I don't know what's taking so long for it to do this. I listen to a lot of music.
Are you into K-pop?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got a lot of that on my iPod.
Like who?
Oh me. Look, y'all gonna have me.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but you know, I'm big into BTS, EXO. I love Red Velvet, NCT, all of them. Yeah, so I'm big into K-pop personally.
You ever listen to like M-Flow at all?
I know of them. I like them, but that's more like of the techno EDM variety that I'm not into. I'm more into the R&B side of things, like a Shiny or a CN Blue.
Oh, so maybe you need to send me some of your artists, because I'm really bad with names, but I love the music.
Yeah. Yeah, like Dreamcatcher. I mean, like, I'm up at yeah, Dreamcatcher is awesome, but they have more of a J-pop sound. That's kind of cool. FT Island is more of a rock-ish type of a thing.
Kind of like One OK Rock.
Right, kind of like that. But I kind of drift more towards the pop R&B type of a deal.
Sure.
So I was pretty pissed that I didn't make it down to Austin for South by Southwest K-pop Night Out. But Mamamoo, I love Mamamoo.
Oh yeah, I need you to like just send me some stuff, man.
Absolutely.
However you choose to, because I don't know the best places to find stuff. So normally people just send me things, and I end up buying it or downloading it or whatever.
Yep, I'll tweet you some things.
Wonderful.
We'll definitely get that done.
Yeah, absolutely. On Dragon Ball Super, did you see the latest episode? Well, I gotta ask him.
Yeah, of course.
Oh, here I was going through the history. That was episode 103, right?
Yes, it was.
Yes, I did watch that.
Android, Super Android 18.
Super Android 17.
17, I'm sorry. Android 17 is finally coming into his norm. People that's listening right now, like, what the hell are they talking about? Android 17 is finally coming into his norm right now. And okay, so first of all, I'm just gonna say the first thing I sent Jamal a picture, and I was just like, did you even know that Universe 6 had two Namekians? Bet you didn't even see that.
I didn't see that.
So when I forget what the yellow guy nickname is, but when he got eliminated by Gohan, and when
Gotamo.
Yeah, Gotamo. Yeah, when he got eliminated, they showed two Namekians on the screen when they was clicking his off, and I was like, wow, because I was saying like the whole tournament is supposed to be like a whole nostalgic feel of like different like theories and like people of like double gangers and other planets and stuff like that. But I was like, that's interesting. It's only one Namekian. I'm surprised there's none in no other universes. And then bam, there's two. One like Piccolo and one that's gonna be like what was it? Oh, Lord Slug, like a bigger one. So
well, unfortunately, those two Namekians are jobbers because they didn't get any screen time at all.
They got no screen time. We don't know their names.
Right.
No clue who they are. Just like here's
no clue who they are. So they're the Brooklyn Brawlers of Universe 6.
Oh man, that's sad.
Any games?
Are you a gamer at all?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't play as much as I used to because travel just takes up so much time. I try to play consoles now, so I'll travel with my PS4 whenever I know I'm going to be somewhere for a while. I used to play World of Warcraft like nobody's business. But it's just so hard to keep up with the people that play every day and spend a lot of time on the game.
Yeah.
So I fell behind and I lost my spot in my raid group, and it was a mythic guild. So it was like I wasn't pushing the numbers that other people were, and I'm like, man, I was carrying.
You gotta do the work, man. You gotta do
no
the work.
No way. I was carrying them for like 3 months. They could have carried me to catch up.
You turn into a real lifer, man. We can't have that.
These 13-year-olds, they don't have jobs, so they just got to be the best at every video game. Period. Once you let go of the game, it's a wrap. Like I tried to pick up Call of Duty last week, and it was just no purpose of doing that.
Oh, same thing in like
you gotta wait till school start.
Destiny, man. If you're not like you don't have the best armors or the highest level and all that jazz, and you go and try and PvP, you're just gonna get murked in one shot. It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. Do you Pokemon Go at all?
No, I don't like games on my phone. So I don't have any games on my phone whatsoever.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Now I know that you're
I'm a real Pokemon player, man.
Oh no, I mean Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are coming out this year. So I'm hyped. Yeah, that's good. This has to happen. Don't get me started on that. That's another hour. But speaking of Pokemon, very briefly,
I was about to bring up Kingdom Hearts, but yeah, that'll be another hour too. And
yeah,
maybe longer. The way they keep postponing it.
March. Hopefully, you'll be down in New Orleans for one of the 75 events, and we can catch up then because Kingdom Hearts may be out by then, or not.
Yeah, I'm not gonna get my hopes up.
No. But I will ask about your trunks. You were going to auction them off or something. With the one with the Mewtwo on it. Now, the first question is Mewtwo your favorite? And the second question is, of course, have you decided on how you're going to give away those trunks?
So I'm actually going to go with some advice Ethan Page gave me, where it's just I'll do the auction myself over like a few days and have people email me to see what the bids are, and then they can offer that way as well. And yeah, let me answer the first question. Yes, Mewtwo is my favorite Pokemon, period. I am loyal like a sports fan to Mewtwo. Okay. But so I'm going to do it through email. I'm actually going to put up a post probably tomorrow. I'll probably hold it for like a week until next week and let people put in bids. And then, whoever wins that can either put in the charity they want their percentage to go to, or if they don't choose, then I will pick a charity for them and donate that way. It just kind of depends. Or maybe I'll put up a poll on Twitter or something and let everybody join in if they can't choose, and we'll go that route.
So then we'll just have to look forward to that via the Twitter machine sooner than later.
Yes, I'm actually I'll put the post up on like Instagram and Facebook as well for those that don't rock Twitter. Guys, you should get Twitter, seriously.
Well, I mean, who doesn't have Twitter in 2017? I don't understand.
Oh man, you'd be surprised. You'd be very surprised.
I mean, it's like people rocking a Hotmail account. It's like, what are you doing?
Don't judge me, man. My business account is Hotmail.
Oops. Tee.
I'm sure there's got to be some seamless migration to like Gmail or something that they can work out for you.
No, I mean, if that's what it has to work, then that's what it's going to be. So,
all right. So since we got the laughters going, I really got to ask this question because when I saw this on Twitter, oh boy, I couldn't stop laughing. When you tweeted a PSA and said, "Promoters, please do not fly me on Spirit," I was laughing. First of all, how in the world are you ever going to fit in the Spirit seat?
I will tell you how, uncomfortably.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst experiences I've had. So yeah, that's over, done with. I got a ban list now that I'm now using.
Wow.
Just in case, gotta I gotta protect myself a little bit. Sometimes these promoters put me on these flights, and the flights beat me up more than the freaking matches do. It's pretty bad. It's like they forget that I'm 6'3", 330, and they're just like, "Well, good luck."
Yeah, well, they saw $17 on Spirit, standing room only, and they go, "Well, that'll work." It's the Greyhound of the skies.
And yeah, we've really talked a lot about anime, and you brought up the G1, which brings up the whole focus of Japan. Now we know you have not wrestled there yet.
Not even once.
Is that in the scope yet?
I mean, the scope is just whatever a person thinks that they want to do, and it's always in my scope. But opportunity has to occur, and it's got to make. On top of opportunity, it's got to make sense for me from a business standpoint. So I'm not gonna just go to go. I'm not gonna fly myself over there and then hope for the best. You know what I mean? It's got to be the right opportunity for me to go and do it. So I'm not gonna go just because I want to wrestle there. I'm gonna go because it makes business sense and it's gonna be a good opportunity. And who knows? Maybe I do something positive for a company that's over there, and give them something that they've never seen before. Who knows?
Well, I can almost guarantee that you can definitely give them something they've never seen before.
Yeah. I was about to say, but yeah,
that's a given right there.
Who would you want to work in New Japan if you could work with?
Everybody, man. Except for Elgin, if he's going to try and use the Ground Zero, I'm not okay with that. But
imitation is the best form of flattery, though.
Get out of here, man! Don't make it look bad. But I think everybody wants to wrestle a Kenny Omega or an Okada, And I think that if I got in the ring with either of those guys, it would be like an absolutely ridiculous match. But there's a ton of talent there that's just awesome. So almost anybody on their roster, I'd love to get in the ring with and have a good time. So,
personally, I want to see
Meltzer would call it a 10-star match,
18-star match.
What now?
I said,
Meltzer. If he likes it, he'll give it like 9. He gave the Omega versus Okada match like 17 stars.
Who is this?
Which is just Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer. He basically the only credible wrestling journalist that the internet seems to mark out for. Which fine, but because he has a hard on for New Japan Pro Wrestling and Japanese wrestling in general. So the Wrestle Kingdom match, out of the 1 to 5 scale, he gave Okada versus Omega, the first one, 6 stars, and the internet kind of had an aneurysm. And then he gave the next match, Okada versus Omega, at this Sakura Genesis, I think, like 7 stars, and the internet went, "Okay, go home, Grandma, you're drunk." But whatever. I mean, it's arbitrary. But I guess the idea is, at least in the U.S. Or in North America, because you have been down to Mexico and you have been up to Canada and stuff. Is there anybody that's on your radar that you would like to work with that you haven't yet? A wrestling promotion or a particular wrestler in general?
A lot of those companies were in the Europe area, and I just recently covered those, man, between Rev Pro and Progress and Fight Club and all that. And then, of course, I work with the Crash as well down in Mexico. I actually haven't worked in Canada yet, but there is a company that's starting up there called Canuck Pro that's really trying to get me in, but they just aren't adding up right now. So hopefully something will come to fruition there, because I would like to work in Canada. But I feel like among the things, I mean, there are probably some other promotions in the UK or Europe area that I could definitely work for. I know that I have an opportunity in Austria and Spain. So I'm looking to hopefully get a grip on those and make something happen. But I think that as far as where I just want to wrestle, it's probably Japan right now. And continue my work with, hopefully kind of integrate myself into progress a little more, and keep expanding. I mean, that's really my main thing, is continue to wow people and meet new fans and all that jazz. That's really enjoyable for me.
Yeah, yeah. So, just to put it simply, world domination is what you're after.
Yes, as War Machine would say, world domination.
Well, that's awesome, and I'll be there every step of the way because I'm a fan.
Thank you.
It was kind of butterflies and stuff preparing for this, and because you don't really, it's not often that you get to talk to people that you really admire, and looking at researching your story and seeing how long it took you to get to here, and then that here being only 18 months ago, and now you're the guy or the guy next to the guy. But you're definitely in everybody's top of mind conversations. And luckily, selfishly, we get to have you here in the Northern Virginia, Greater Washington, D.C. area at Nova Pro's Cool for the Summer. You're the main event versus a flamethrower witch named Angelus Layne. And it's going down this Friday night at the Annandale Fire Department. Do you like Korean barbecue?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, I definitely don't see a problem with it.
But the reason why I bring that up is because Annandale is in the middle of our Koreatown here. We don't really have one like LA does or New York does. But if you want some delicious Korean barbecue, I'm not on air, but I can definitely clue you into, because unless they want to, go ahead and sponsor the show. But I can definitely, clue you into a couple of places. But it's in the middle of the Koreatown. Cool. And a Front Ruckers, because that needed to happen too. But sure, we can't wait to have you in Annandale. The Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast is the official pre-show host of Cool for the Summer. We are actually sponsoring your match with Angelus Layne.
No brainer.
So everyone, you're welcome. And we can't wait to see you do your thing, win, lose, or draw. It took a long time. And I've been asking Mike, the owner of Nova Pro, since your Wrestle Circus match with Dijak. Get him. Fly him in. Whatever you need to do. Concorde. Carrier Pigeon. Albatross. Get the damn Eagles from Lord of the Rings at the end. Get him here. Get him. Fly him in from Mount Doom. Get him here now.
I literally tweeted it the day before and they announced it. I was just like, man. I was just like, man.
And luckily, that now is this coming Friday night, and we really can't wait to see you there. Go ahead.
We have agreed that both. We know you're going to bring your the sort of, I forget what you call them, the Godzilla shirts.
Actually, I completely sold out this past weekend.
Damn! I told you to get me one up there. I told you.
Okay, see what happened was right.
I found some 3Xs that I have. I found some 5Xs, but I have no other sizes.
Well, I'm not saying that you should tuck away a 3X for yours truly, but if it found your way into your bag right nowish, I'll be the first person to greet you at the door with a crisp Andrew Jackson or whatever currency denomination you prefer in any country that you like.
All right,
because if you want some South African rand, then I can get that for you too.
So no shirts.
I have I found a few 3Xs, a couple 5Xs, and I think one 4X. All smaller sizes are gone. I'm actually in the midst of getting ready to print my final set of the Keithzilla shirts, and it's going to be a set of pink, actually.
Well, Breast Cancer Awareness Month is in October, so that's...
Yeah, somebody reminded me of that online. I was like, I didn't even think about that. I just like pink, but that's great because people can have it available and all that jazz. But
yeah,
if you would like a different color, it's available on bottomlinemerch.com/Keith Lee, and the colors will be available that way. But I won't have any smaller sizes on me. Actually, I'm very sorry.
What was that shirt, Jamal, you was asking about before?
Well, I was just about to ask him because this is another personal request. cough cough, personal request, that there was a shirt that I saw you in a photo I saw you in, the King of Sands.
Yep.
I need all of those. Whatever color, whatever you want to print. I don't care if it's the colorblind version. I need all of those. So how do we make that happen? Because I didn't see no bottom line merch. I was about to pick that up right now.
It's not on there, but I am in the midst of debating with my designer because he was considering opening up an Etsy store, I believe, to run them out of his store. And a lot of people asked me for it, so I was going to print some. So I'm going to see what direction he wants to go because he is the guy that designed stuff for me. The Keithzilla shirt he designed free of charge. And he also designed the logo for my personal company, Project Limitless. And the King of Sands shirt he just brought to me at some show one day and was like, here, this is the new thing. I'm like, all right.
He certainly is the new thing.
Yeah. So I'm probably going to print it as it is. If I print it, if I don't, I will get people in contact with him for however he wants to distribute them. It will be a thing. I'm just not sure how soon it'll be a thing.
Okay, fair enough. Good things come to those that wait for King of Sand shirts.
Or you could have just bought my shirt and I didn't have to wait.
Well, there's that too.
I specifically texted him. I said, you know what? Just give me a shirt up there because I know they're going to end up selling out. And watch, he doesn't have any when he comes. And sure enough, well.
Oh, wow.
What had happened was, and the situation in that building, I don't understand how the fire marshal let it go on to be that's number one.
Well,
because actually, the standing room only was a situation there.
I actually sold out before Progress even started. I sold out at the end of Evolve. So I had larges, XLs, and mediums, and those were the only sizes I had with me. All got bought.
Yeah, the line at the Evolve section was thick with 2 C's. So, it was rough. It was rough, but we'll get it. We'll get it. It'll come. Just be patient.
Fair enough.
That doesn't mean that I don't have my shirt already tucked away because he said he has some 3Xs. But for those, thinner folks, the skinny minis out there, it'll come. It'll come to you. The last question I got is about your theme song, Ground Zero. Now, you sang it, and you had somebody produce it, and your pen tweet is about how someone can procure that song for a nominal fee. Did you think that the song would take off as well as it did?
No. I had thought about putting it on iTunes when I originally did the song, and I didn't feel like it was ready for something like that. I didn't feel like we mastered it down enough or anything like that. I just enjoyed the song, and I was proud of doing some work on my own, like, with the exception of rapping. Like, that was my first time ever rapping, and I was super concerned with it, but it's gotten the okay from a lot of hip hop heads. So I'm pretty much proud of the track, and a lot of people are enjoying it. And once I put it up for sale, it did so well. And then there was a break, and then the moment I went over to Europe and everything, it just, so many people messaged me about that song. I had to raise the price to see if I could drop the demand for it because it was hard to keep up with the people asking for it.
Right.
It hasn't slowed down.
Right.
I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to raise it again ever, but it's just like, I didn't know that people would enjoy my form of music to that effect. You know what I mean? So it's humbling, to say the least.
Well, I mean, I need the song, and I've decided to just flat out tweet at you and email you and say that, this is what I'm need. I also need the instrumental.
That is very true. Yeah.
Instrumental.
Oh, breaking my heart, Keith.
I'm very sorry. But the instrumental, I would probably get in trouble for selling, actually, because I'm not the one that created that, and that belongs to my producer. He and I came together to create it. He produced the beat, He sang with me on the hook, and that was a team effort. So I would respect what he put together and let me get on the track for.
Okay. I know it's wishful thinking. Can we expect a remix?
Probably not a remix, but eventually I'm gonna have to make a new song, I think, man. There's a lot of me in the song, but there's also so much more I wanted to say, I think. And I think a different type of song that is almost motivational, I think. It's something I'd like to do.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. But I have a couple songs, well, a few songs I've been writing, and
Keith Lee's been in the lab? Are you serious?
well, once I did this song,
that's why the gray hair there.
No, that is 100% hereditary. That's 100% scientific. They ain't got nothing to do with nothing else, man. I promise you. I was 16. I didn't know what stress was, bro. But yes, I got asked to do an album, and I've considered it, so I've started writing other songs. But we'll see what happens, man. The music thing is not a focus really. It's just something I do on the side. So we'll see what happens.
But that's it's literally is limitless. I mean, breaking like the mold as far as wrestling goes. You drop a hot 16 on the side for no reason at all, and then that just takes off like gangbusters. And then you got the shirt game, you got the merch game going. I mean honestly, I'm damned impressed.
Thank you, man. That does mean a lot. I appreciate that.
I mean, that's like we see a lot of guys, and of course the whole wrestling business itself, just like any self-employed business, it is a constant grind. You got to get out there, you got to reinvent yourself over and over again, and you're an artist basically. And with anything, you have to bring something fresh to the table. And the fact that you're just like, I just want, Thursday I'll be in the studio. Friday I'm, going to review my old football tapes. Like, oh yeah, well I'm studying this guy in Japan right now. I'm about to shoot over to Dubai real quick, do some wrestling. I mean, damn. The only thing you haven't opened is a chicken and waffle spot in Austin.
I've actually thought about doing a restaurant, but I am not a chef. But yes. There's a few different markets that are available between Austin and San Antonio. That's who knows? Time will tell. We'll just leave it at that, man.
This man has more going. Like, I need to reevaluate my life right now. And I thought I was doing something special. I was just talking to you. But like I can't keep up with just talking to you.
Yeah.
Damn.
Trust me, man. The things that I've gone through to get to the mindset I have now are you got to walk through some mud to get through to the promised land. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm waiting for the basket in my glory chicken strip platter at Keith Lee's Chicken and Waffles coming to a town near you off the I-35 corridor.
I can't believe you just came up with that on the fly. That was pretty good.
That was actually really good.
Oh man, this is fun, but it's been an hour, and I need to go Pokemon hunting. Keith Lee, please plug your Twitter, your Instagram, and everything you like to plug. Let us know where the people can find you.
Oh, easy peasy, guys. Most things are streamlined. So Instagram and Twitter are both at Real Keith Lee altogether. Keith is spelled Keith. Do not do Kieth. I know some of you want to because English sucks.
Who does that?
But there's Facebook.com/Real Keith Lee, and I mentioned the shirt store, and it's also got my hats on there. That's bottomlinemerch.com/Keith Lee. And if you got questions or anything, shoot me preferably a DM on Twitter. I keep up with that better than Facebook or Instagram. But you can see what I'm getting into, and check me out. Follow me. Show some love. I'll show it back.
Awesome. Can't wait. Much success. Can't wait to see you in person. Every time that I've seen you, and I've traveled, we saw you in Chicago at the Evolve show before NXT Takeover. Yeah, we were kind of on the fence about whether we were going to go, and I said, "Listen, now, Jer, I know that I say a lot, and I know it's a lot of hyperbole, but you'll regret it if we don't go to Evolve to see Keith Lee versus Dijak." Right?
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're right. So before we knew they were facing each other, we knew he was going to be there, and we knew he was like we wanted to go out there. But when they announced that they was going to face each other, I was like, shoot! From all that from WrestleMania weekend, is 100% not a chance that we're not going to make that. And I dealt with like the worst Uber driver ever that day. So he didn't even know, not to mention the Uber driver after us who didn't know what part of Chicago we were in, and he didn't know how we were going to pay. He looked back at us and was like, how do you guys pay? We was like, shouldn't you be telling us that?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Very interesting weekend that week, but nonetheless.
Oh my God.
And thank you, by the way, for not wiping out our whole row of seats too.
Yeah,
you guys like to play in the crowd a lot, apparently.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh no, man. That's why we purposely sit third row, because we know that the first two rows are suspect when it's a Keith Lee match.
Right. Right.
Gotcha.
But dude, it's been an honor to talk to you. You're certainly, no blowing smoke, one of my favorite guys in the business right now. And we've honestly traveled the country to see you, among others. But it's certainly a highlight. This is your time. We are all basking in your glory. We just can't wait to see what you're going to do next, and that's the most impressive thing about it. No matter how it's been or whatever, it's like, well, it's going to be awesome. So let's sit and wait. And that awesome is going to happen this coming Friday at Nova Pro Wrestling's Cool for the Summer in Annandale at the Volunteer Fire Department. Get your tickets now, because tickets were already going to sell out. But now that it's Keith Lee versus Angelus Layne, tickets went quickly. So there's only a few dozen left. Don't be that guy that waits outside of the building asking people for information about how it went down. You want to get in. You want to get in. You want to see this. And if you've not seen Keith Lee before, fix your life right now. Get on the internets. Get on the YouTube. Just go to the library. Look him up. It's worth it. And then we'll all see you this coming Friday night at the Volunteer Fire Department in Annandale. Keith Lee, man, it's been a pleasure. We got to do it again sometime.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Hey, man, we can always talk every Friday night after Super, too.
Well, it's Saturday for us, but yeah, Saturday night at 8. I'm not going to lie. Luckily, your match was on after that, but I was definitely had the phone sweating in the arena in New York with the windshield wipers on the phone, because the conversation was real. Watching Dragon Ball Super just before the intermission started.
He started the truth too, which is crazy.
But yeah, so that's it for the Big Old Bell Wrestling Podcast. We will see you Thursday for the regular show, Friday for the pre-show at 6:00 from the Firehouse. Keith Lee, man, can't wait to see you there.
Likewise. Pleasure talking with you, gentlemen.
Thanks, dude.
Take care.